these holiday schedules.
The Herd, weekdays 2 to 4. ESPN Northwest Florida.
In 2026, come on down to that boot store and pick out something that'll help make 2026 a year to remember. Choose from one of the largest selections of Western wear and accessories you'll find in the area and at an affordable price. For the hard worker, there's name brand Carhartt work clothes and all the right sizes with plenty to select from. That boot store, Tuesday through Thursday, 9 to 5, Friday and Saturday, 9 to 5:30. Next to Billberg Kia, 15th Street, Panama City. That boot store, where God is good all the time.
Looking to upgrade your truck? It's Blue Diamond Truck Accessories in Panama City. They sell, service, and install it all. Light kits, bed covers, bumpers, winches, lift kits, and any trailer hitch you can imagine. Blue Diamond Truck Accessories, just west of Frankfort Avenue on 15th Street. Find Blue Diamond Truck Accessories on Facebook or call 850-914-0265. Blue Diamond Truck Accessories, 850-914-0265.
Are you feeling tired, weak, or maybe you feel old and cranky? If so, I have the answer. It's Max Fit Sports Nutrition with 2 locations, 23rd Street in the Coronado Plaza and in Pier Park North on Back Beach Road. Max Fit Sports Nutrition has nutritional products and professional dietary plans to get you moving in the right direction. So get off that couch and get to Max Fit Sports Nutrition now. Max Fit Sports Nutrition, where you can try it before you buy it.
Here's the tale of Tina, searching up and down for decent GLP-1s, but got spun around.
Till Good RX wrote in, hey, we got something new. GLP-1 prescriptions, all FDA approved.
Brand name meds, no flags that are red.
Clear pricing from the start. None of those hidden fees in your cart.
Delivered to your door or pick up same day. Darn tootin'.
Save time and money on prescriptions.
I'll put it to goodrx.com/weight loss. GoodRx is not insurance.
Spring seasonal donuts have sprung at Krispy Kreme. From the bright, fruity flavor of banana pudding and the decadent delight of Hershey's double chocolate to the berry joy of strawberries and cream and the classic flavor of our blueberry cake donut. Available for a limited time at your nearest Krispy Kreme donut location on 23rd Street next to HCA Hospital in Panama City and the Ross Clark Circle in Dothan. Krispy Kreme donuts, where you get them hot.
WGSX Lynn Haven, WVLQ Port St. Joe, ESPN Northwest Florida.
The locals love it.
Rise and shine, campers. It's a brand new day.
What a lovely morning.
Good morning, starshine.
You seem happy this morning.
Good morning, everybody. Thanks for coming in early.
The Coach James Hale Show is live and local. Live from the J. Michaels Studio. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Friday hot tub.
That's right.
Hot tub. Jim Barrett climbing the stage. He's going to do a cannonball. Look out.
In a hot tub.
Rub-a-dub.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, indeed. It is a Friday. Memorial Day weekend is upon us. Can you believe it?
A little excitement over here.
The last chance to maybe be able to go over 20 miles an hour on Back Beach Road for the next 3 months. We'll see.
Halfway Bridge, nice and fast this morning.
Isn't it always? But welcome in here. You're listening to the Coach James Hale Show. Coach Hale, again, out today. He will be back Tuesday. No show Monday for the holiday, but we will be back on Tuesday, unless he needs another vacation, and then it'll be substitute teacher time again. But no, this is no vacation. He's doing all right, actually, for those of you who've asked. He's doing well. I checked in with Julie. She's keeping him sedated, as you would. But he's doing well, and we'll be back on Tuesday. Brian Haddad sitting in for Coach again, joined, as always, I get the Friday crew in here today. I get Coach Jim Barrett. Coach, how we doing?
I'm doing good.
And Kyle Vandergriff, at least on 3 occasions, unfortunately, I've called you your brother's name.
Yeah,
because I dealt more with Josh.
My own parents. Mom, I'm your other son.
but I wanted to make sure I got that. I can't say I won't mess it up again at some point during the show.
My whole life.
But great having you back in here, Kyle. This is a busy man, ladies and gentlemen. Busy man.
A little bit.
But we very much enjoy having him back in here. And James holding down the fishbowl. What's up, buddy?
No, hey, guys. Good Friday, everybody.
And he's back there in the Braves
That's
jersey.
right. Got him out of that
got
Cubbies jersey, going for the Bravos.
Best team in baseball.
There you go.
Best team in baseball right now. That is correct.
9-3 last night, I believe.
9-3 win, yeah.
Outstanding. Getting past those fish down from Miami.
Yeah, they had it blacked out on my MLB network.
Did they?
So mad.
Yeah. It just really depends on like where your internet's coming from, because I got the internet up from the sky and my server's down in Miami, so I get blocked out of all the Marlins games
because those idiots never go to a game.
Yeah. And so nobody ever shows up. But the good news is my server used to be in Atlanta, so now I get Braves games and I still get my Rays games. So I'm fine. I mean, I lose a couple of games to Miami, but whatever. Such is life.
Well, where you'd never get blacked out from hearing the Braves is right here on ESPN 104.3. In fact, you can catch the Braves tonight as they have a series starting 3-game set, I believe, with the Washington Nationals. So staying in the division here, and that'll pick up right after Paul's show this afternoon, the Sports Blitz. We'll go to the coverage at 6 p.m. with first pitch at 6:15. Again, Braves Nationals tonight right here on 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida. I wanted to get into one thing locally, and then we're going to bounce around some headlines because we had some unfortunate headlines in sports that we definitely want to get to. This is actually a great story, and I love this. That's why I wanted to lead with it. So, Val Solorio, a lot of people will remember that name. Grew up in this area, moved away, I want to say junior, maybe senior year of high school, moved up north with their family and all like that, but was a tremendous wrestler. Been on a lot of national teams, things like that growing up. Has gone to the University of Iowa, which, the bona fides you must have to wrestle there at Iowa, and was actually the NCAA champion this year.
Yep.
In the first year for women's wrestling at the national championship level. Val has actually come home to run the Solorio camp with Bay County Elite Wrestling. This is a great thing, and what she's doing is really trying to reach out to young wrestlers. She said, coming back, I knew the first thing I wanted to do was be in this mat room. That's a true wrestler right there. They want to get on the mat. And they had the idea of, why don't we run a camp? The kids will get to know you, and it'll be such a great idea. She said, there's really good high schools around this area, and we talk about those a lot.
Absolutely.
But she said the kids start really late. So an idea of this club, which is Bay County Elite, was get the kids when they're little, teach them the fundamentals, the basics, so whenever they do start to really compete in wrestling at the middle school and the high school level, they don't struggle kind of to keep up. And I think that's wonderful. I mean, as someone who's been involved, and we've all been involved in youth sports, things like that, you want to go out, you want to compete, you want to win, you want to have fun, but you also do need to learn fundamentals, because as kids develop and they start to pare down into the sports that make the most sense for them or what they enjoy the most, you want them to have that fundamental base to where there is nothing limiting how far they can go but their desire and their talent. You never want a kid to feel like they didn't get something. And I think this is such a great idea, and I've always been in awe of her and her talent and just the way that she conducts herself. So really proud to see her coming home, and really excited for our area youth to get a chance to learn from literally the best in the country.
Yeah.
When she was in this area, where did she go to school? Mosley, Bozeman?
That's a wonderful question. I'm afraid of saying the wrong... I want to say it was Mosley or Bay, but I could be wrong on that. Yeah. I don't know. I know somebody will know. Jeff Skipper's probably yelling at his radio right now, and Andy will probably text me in a minute. But Val was tremendous and still is tremendous. Yeah. So really cool thing there. I wanted to lead with that because I know we talk so much about high school wrestling, and I love it. It's really a sport I never thought I'd get into, but I have.
I got a call about that, and they were asking me, hey, could you help us get the word out on that? So I put them in touch with Banji Bamadelli at the News Herald. Dan Cantrell, he's a buddy of mine. His kid's part of Elite, and he was, it's a big thing,
Oh,
national champ coming in to,
definitely.
the hometown.
That was really
and
cool.
to do a nice little camp. How long? I didn't ask this, but how many days is the camp?
Let me see if I can get that. I'm not sure.
Is it probably like a 3 or 4 day, like a Wednesday to Friday or something?
You're asking me to read
week?
real quick, and I can barely read at all. I went to school in Mississippi, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
Hey, we know James Hill. We know.
And I'm sure we can find the contact information with the
I
Bay
would
Elite Wrestling
yeah,
Facebook
Bay
page.
County Elite Wrestling is where you go for information. I don't see anything where it says how long.
Yeah.
But
you can find it on their socials, I'm sure.
All right, now
yeah, president of Bay County Elite Wrestling is Calvin Williams. So I would say just try and Google Bay County Elite Wrestling, and you can find out more.
Now, if you know any wrestlers at all, any high school wrestlers, college wrestlers, the boys, I don't know what girls, they all have cauliflower ear. So if I'm a girl, and you're a wrestler like this girl was. What happens at prom time, and you can't pull your hair back, you get because you got do girls get cauliflower ear when wrestling too?
I do think they have better protective gear now than they used to. That being said, I would imagine someone like Val, if someone tried to make fun of her cauliflower ear, she'd tie him up like a pretzel.
Yeah.
I don't think they'd do it twice, I guess is my point.
Yeah,
here.
I was like, and I was wondering about that. It's like, if this is such a problem, why don't you wear headgear when you practice?
Julie Hale's taking exception with my I went to school in Mississippi line there.
So did you.
Glad to hear Julie is listening there this morning.
So did James.
Now, but they went to the Harvard of the South.
Yeah, the Harvard.
That's right. I went to the Poughkeepsie of the
That's
South.
right.
So.
You went to technical school.
Exactly. I tell you what, I can milk a cow. That's what I do.
All right, wait a minute now. Which city is bigger, population-wise, Stark Vegas or Hattiesburg? Which one is bigger?
Honestly, probably Hattiesburg. Nowadays, I don't know. Starkville's grown a lot. When I went to Starkville, and this is in the 90s, it wasn't the 60s, like people like making fun of me. I'm not that old. So Mississippi State was one of the smaller schools in the country. Ole Miss was smaller, and Vandy, I think, was the smallest. But we were, when school was in, we were maybe 14,000, I think, on campus, 14,000. And that doubled town population. So, but I think it is much bigger now. But I still think Hattiesburg's probably a larger overall city.
Hattiesburg is 48,000. Starks is 24, so it's twice the size.
So Starkville's probably doubled since I was there. Hey, Hattiesburg has an interstate that gets near it, so we'll give them that. But they don't call it Hattie's Vegas. That's the thing.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, let's,
with the wrestling, though, in town, we did this year have two guys, Kellen DeLoach and Bear Siegel, signed Division I wrestling scholarships.
Yes, they did.
I'm trying to remember the name.
I think
of the
Bear
college.
was actually quoted in the WMBB story on the camp.
Oh, okay.
Like that. And
I would assume they would have something to do with it. They're pretty ingrained into that whole
Well, and as Andy and I often laugh, anytime Bear's quoted, we get a little nervous.
Yeah.
You never know what Bear's going to say, but that's the fun of him. Boy, he does a great job.
He's great.
Kalen DeLoach had a great season.
Yeah.
Absolutely had a great season. So, again, it's a sport I never thought I would get into.
Was it up in Indiana? Somewhere.
I'll
look it up.
I can't remember. Yeah. And again, if Andy's listening, I know he'll shoot it to me. But the two things I never thought I would I know it's hard to tell looking at my physique here that I wasn't into wrestling and bodybuilding or anything. But the two things I never thought I would really get interested in was wrestling, because we had never done it. We didn't really have any high school wrestling in Mobile when I was coming up. And then weightlifting. We had lifted weights for other sports, but not as a sport. And I've told this on the show several times. A buddy of mine, his daughter went to Niceville. This is whenever Arnold hosted the state for the girls, probably 8-10 years ago. And he couldn't make it over for work. He had something. And so he was like, hey, Sid's going to be over there. Can you go kind of watch her and cheer on? I was like, oh, God, yeah, I've known her since she was a baby. And so I go in there not having any clue what a high school weightlifting meet looks like, especially a state championship.
They're pretty cool.
Oh my God, I was bouncing off the walls.
Pretty cool.
I mean, because not only was it crazy exciting,
awesome
and
atmosphere,
impressive, especially with the girls, what they were able to do. But what I loved, and we've talked about this before, it's competitive. But when a girl's going for a record, and they'll announce it, everyone in the building. is pulling for her. That's really cool. That maybe you don't see in other sports with all the rivalries and the this, the other. I thought that was just fantastic.
I got broke into that last year
Yeah.
for the first time because we got asked to host and do the podcast live there
Yes.
at the girls. It was regionals that they did at Bay High, and what a great atmosphere.
It's unbelievable.
What a great atmosphere.
And again, something I never thought I'd get into, and I was such a fan.
Yeah.
I was buzzing
Hooked.
when I was. I mean, I'm buzzing now thinking
Yeah.
about it. I mean, it was so cool. So, really impressive, and make sure you check into that because that would be a really cool event. And just like Val said, getting into it younger and the fundamentals so that you have those tools if it is something you want to pursue would be great. So we can build youth wrestling in this area even more than it already has. Well, we need to talk about some of our great sponsors here on the Coach James Hale Show, and it is a Friday, so J. Michael's Restaurant. The special today is one of my favorites, Chris Fish. It's grilled fish over bed of rice, peppers, spices. Really good for you and really good tasting.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
Good healthy Friday lunch.
There you go. You always get the best seafood. Well, they got that cold beer you can wash it down with there
cold.
at J. Michael's. So make sure you get out there and check that out and tell them you heard about it right here. If you're up in Lynn Haven, you want to get something nice for the missus to make sure you're not sleeping on the couch tonight, get out to David Adamson Fine Jewelry. They can design a custom piece for you. They can fix and repair old jewelry. And look, silver and gold, we've seen what it's doing, going crazy. You want to go out there and sell some of that to them, you can get the absolute best prices on that. Up in Lynn Haven, David Adamson Fine Jewelry. And look, I've tried to do this all week. I can't do justice better than the man himself. So, Kyle, talk to us about TK Vandy Roofing and Contract.
Yep, TK Vandy, we're a general contractor, specializes in roofing. You give us a shout, we can help you out. Give us a call, 866-9908. And if you let us know that you heard about us from the James Hale Show, we'll give you a 10% discount on any of your roofing needs.
I'm dialing my phone right now. I actually do need a little. I may talk to you after this show. All right. Well,
we're here for you, bro.
There you go. He's over there calculating how to 10% higher on me, but that's okay. All right, when we get back, we're going to talk about some more headlines going on across the sporting world here. A lot to talk about college football, but we're going to venture into a few other areas, so keep it right here on ESPN 104.3.
ESPN Northwest Florida. It's the Rich Eisen Show.
Ramona Shelburne is here. Is there only one game ball? The Lakers can't afford it. Give me 4 more basketballs.
Yeah, I think they just wanted JJ to feel special.
You can, though. They made him feel special.
We've been hanging around youth sports, too, like everyone gets a trophy.
I don't.
There's a game ball,
There's enough game balls. Like, hey, Rui, here's one for you. Luca, here's one for you. LeBron, here's one for you. And for the coach, here's your kids presenting you with one.
The Rich Eisen Show. Weekdays 11 to 2. ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Anna with ESPN Northwest Florida. Here is your weather forecast on this Friday morning. As we head into this afternoon and evening, some clouds and a high of 83 with a moderate breeze coming out of the south at 14 miles per hour. For tonight, a chance of thunderstorms and partly cloudy skies and a low near 76. Tomorrow, partly sunny and a possibility of thunderstorms and a high around 83. This weather forecast is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for keeping that dial at ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
No one wants to deal with a plumbing, electrical, or HVAC emergency. It's even worse when you're not sure what it'll cost, when it'll get fixed, or if someone's just selling you something. When you call Hiller, you can trust our experts to actually solve your home's problems quickly. And with true transparency pricing, you know the price you're told is the price you'll actually pay. Book online now at happyhiller.com. Happy you'll be, or the service is free.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
Hi everyone, I'm Tracy with Tracy's Fine Jewelry and Gifts, and we're so excited to invite you to our grand opening on Saturday, May 23rd from 10 to 3 at 638 Harrison Avenue. Join us for champagne, exclusive in-store specials, and exciting hourly giveaways all day long. Plus, one lucky guest will win a $2,500 shopping spree. Whether you're looking for the perfect gift or just want to see our beautiful new showroom, we'd love to celebrate with you. Come enjoy a day full of sparkles, surprises, and fun at Tracy's Fine Jewelry and Gifts.
Now, it's time for your Atlanta Braves Morning Update, presented by Tidal Wave Auto Spa. Get clean car happy at any of the 250-plus Tidal Wave Auto Spa locations today.
Braves top the Marlins again. I'm Barrett Sallee, and this is your Braves Radio Network Morning Update.
Tidal Wave Auto Spa is the official car wash of the Atlanta Braves and your go-to car wash destination all season long. Visit TidalWaveAutoSpa.com to find a location nearest you.
Braves take Game 4 and take the series in emphatic fashion. They topped the Marlins 9-3 on Thursday night. 3 home runs, 2 of which were from Michael Harris II. How about Yaz? He was 3 for 3 as well. It was a great day all around for the Bats. And Spencer Strider, his second win of the season. He went 6 1/3, 4 hits, 3 earned runs, walked 2, struck out a season-high 9 batters. It was great to see for Spencer Strider. Braves now 14-1 in series this year. That is why they're the best team in Major League Baseball. Miles Mikolas on the mound for the Nationals coming up on Friday night. He's 1-3, has a 6.91 ERA, 14 walks, 28 strikeouts. Bryce Elder, future All-Star, going for the Braves. He's 4-2, has a 2.01 ERA, 20 walks, and 56 strikeouts. Ford leadoff show at 6. First pitch between the Braves and Nats, 7:15 across the street at Truist Park, and you can hear all of it on the Braves Radio Network.
Now,
it's the Coach James Hale Show.
Go nuts.
Live from the J. Michael Studio at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back in. Sounds like we're at a Mardi Gras parade in Mobile over here. Got the boom boom going.
The original Mardi Gras, by the way.
Thank you very much.
Everybody's like, oh, New Orleans. I'm like, bro, it originated in Mobile.
Thank you very much. You've just made my day.
My girls go there every single year for that first day they kick it off. I forget what it's called. It's after a guy's name.
Well,
there's a parade.
There's a bunch of different ones. The one that's so famous in Mobile, it's the Sunday right before Fat Tuesday. It's called Joe Cane Day.
Joe Cane Day. That's exactly what it is.
Joe Cane Day is the greatest.
My daughters go there with their great aunt.
I love it. I love it, absolutely. And anyone who grows up in Mobile has a serious inferiority complex about what you just said, that we are the birthplace of Mardi Gras. Not New Orleans, LSU, Jeff, but Mobile, Alabama. So very cool that you got to say that and not me. Before we get it, there's a lot of college football, news and notes to get to, but the big news in the sports world, unfortunately, is really tragic news, and I did want to bring this up because we were talking about it before we came on air, and that is the tragic passing of Kyle Busch, NASCAR, two-time NASCAR champion,
a winner,
41 years old, guys. Now, of course, there's 3 series in NASCAR. You've got the Truck Series, you've got the, I don't even know what it's called anymore. It's been the Busch Series and the whatever, but it's the second level
truck that's stock, and then the NASCAR.
Well, yeah, but they it's almost like a
is it the
AAA
Xfinity
series now?
Like
that's
right.
Yeah,
just under sponsorship name.
That's just
secondary
a sponsor.
Yeah, that's right. And then the Cup Series, and Kyle Busch actually is the all-time leader in wins across all 3 series. Because this is a true racer. He's out racing no matter what.
I saw that this morning. I say, what about Richard Petty? You mean Richard Petty?
Most in Cup. Now, they didn't have the trucks back then. Yeah, they had trucks, but
he's
not
getting
trucks.
one extra race a weekend.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Over the course of his 20-year career, because he's like, he came in the game young. I mean, we were class of 03. I'm saying it like I know him. We're the same age, so class of 03. He was there in NASCAR a few years after that.
What's the earliest what's the youngest age you can be a NASCAR driver?
I want to say the youngest I can remember at the Cup level was probably someone like a Joey Logano. Probably like 18, 19, somewhere in there.
I think Kyle Busch was 21 when he started.
What's hilarious is a lot of these guys will run on these national go-kart circuits before they can legally have a driver's license.
Yeah.
Which is, it's go-karts. Well, but those things move.
That's what Jake Finch was doing.
That's right. Absolutely. So, but no, Kyle Busch started very young, early 20s. He was going in the mid-2000s when I was really getting into NASCAR. Of course, his older brother Kurt was champion in 2004. I think it was the first year they did the chase. And But Kyle Busch, 2-time champion like this, so there's not a whole lot of details out there. Some level of illness.
Yeah, they're saying undisclosed illness. He was hospitalized for it.
So news came out maybe 2-3 days ago that he was going to miss the Coca-Cola 600, which is a very big race. Obviously, Memorial Day weekend, huge for racing across the world.
Absolutely.
But that he was going to miss the Coke 600, which was news in and of itself, because Kyle Busch does not miss races. And they said with a severe illness. It has since come out that I believe 2 weeks ago at Watkins Glen, which is a road course with a lot of elevation changes, and obviously
in New York for those who don't know.
That's right, and they're not just turning left.
Upstate New York.
But that he was on the radio saying, have Doc ready with a shot at the end. And they were saying that a lot of times the G-forces and the elevation change, if you have some kind of sinus or respiratory thing, can really play havoc with that. But he did race last weekend, which off the top of my head, I can't remember where they were, but he did race, Pocono, I think. And then obviously it got worse and everything like that, but just, I don't know. I mean, I guess it's just the shock of it. I mean, I think with race car drivers, we all accept a level of, risk when it comes to, okay, he died hitting the wall.
Yeah.
Or, things like that. But an illness? Taking someone 41 years old, that full of life?
Yeah, I mean, it reminds me of, like, Terrence Gore, losing him so young, I think his was more of the heart. But
well, that was my first thought when I saw it, did he have a heart thing?
Yeah, but see, you have to go through rigorous amount of physicals. I mean, even if they remotely detect congestive heart failure, you're not going to be. You won't get insurance.
That's right.
You won't get insurance to drive. You won't pass the physical. Right. Can't get insurance. They're not going to let you drive, no matter how good you are.
Yeah.
But you're seeing a lot more of these. Late 30s, 40s kind of popping out. I mean, of course, obviously today in the instant information age, it's a lot more prevalent, but yeah, heart goes out to them. I mean, Kyle Busch, competitor, and he didn't back down from a fight.
Oh no,
he was he got in several altercations. Remember the Kevin Harvick one? They're swinging on.
I loved it because those were two of my favorite guys. I was saying it before the show came on, what I loved about Kyle Busch, not just because he was one of the last guys from that era with Denny Hamlin where I was really into it.
Yeah.
And I always thought of Kyle, Kevin Harvick, Denny Hamlin to an extent. He's a little more buttoned up than those two because he's an owner now. But it's kind of loose cannons. Like you never knew what these guys were going to do. Harvick certainly fit that role. Busch certainly fit that role. And it was almost,
and they were all rubbing.
They were cool wrestling heels.
Yeah,
is the way I like. And Kyle embraced it. Like he loved it. In fact, he has a very famous when he would win a race, he would get out of the car, stand up, and do a old school bow to the crowd. And he did that because they were booing him so loudly.
And then he played a perfect heel for so long. I mean,
it was He was so good as a heel, people started loving him. Later,
and he, he won. He was.
He did.
He was one of those drivers that was consistently. He may not have won 1,000 races, but he was in a top 10 in a lot of them.
Yeah,
very
and unfortunately, these last 2 years, his team has really struggled, and he's been obviously very frustrated with it. Now, it's led to some great. If you're subscribing and getting the driver's radio, you hear some fun stuff when Kyle Busch is struggling like that. But he's a guy you'd love to see competing. And in some of the lower levels, he still was. I think he won a truck race not that long ago. But at the Cup level, he'd really kind of fallen off, and the team had as well. And so it was kind of unfortunate in that. But just, golly, you're heading into – outside of Daytona, this is probably the biggest weekend in NASCAR. Well, the championship, obviously, but this is big. You just had the All-Star race. You've got, the Coke 600s, the longest race of the year for NASCAR, and it's a huge race weekend with Monaco and with the Indy 500 also happening on Sunday. So it's really a shame, but it has been nice to see all the touching tributes that have come in from everybody here. It's just... Wow. This one surprised me. It really did.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, thoughts and prayers out to the entire Kyle Busch family and obviously everybody in NASCAR. It's a pretty close community there, so really a shame there. Hopefully, we'll find out more on this, and it's just tough one.
Before we move on, just to clarify, Bear Siegel actually got his scholarship to Bloomsburg University, and Kellen DeLoach signed to Davidson University.
Oh, very cool.
So,
and then we did
D1
find
wrestling
out
schools.
we kind of got a part of it right. So Val apparently went to Arnold her freshman year.
Yes, went to Arnold freshman year.
Mosley her sophomore
Mosley.
year, and then they moved.
And then while she was at Mosley, she actually was the first sophomore in the state to win the Fargo National Championship.
That's pretty cool.
So, and that's a big, that's a big thing because that's where they're going to recruit.
Oh, yeah.
The best of the best.
And Andy used to tell me stories, and Jeff Skipper and all the wrestling guys that I know, they used to tell me stories about when those groups would train, and a lot of the, like that, it was a lot of guys and Val. And that Val was kind of the den mother of them and could snap those boys into line.
Yeah.
Like they were all a little scared of her, which was good. So, but I love that. But she, God, what a talent. I mean, we could spend 2 hours just talking about her, but really cool stuff there. Well, I'll tell you what else is cool is more of our great sponsors here on the Coach James Hale Show. And we finally, folks, out on the beach, we don't have to go into town anymore to get great Pepper's Mexican Grill food.
Best salsa in town.
I still love going out to 77 because I love the staff out there as well, but it's so great to be able to just bounce over right near Arnold, as a matter of fact, the old TGI Fridays building there. Pepper's Mexican Grill. I'm with you. Best salsa in town. Great drink specials. Great food. Great staff. Make sure you get out there today and enjoy a fine, fine Mexican meal at Pepper's Mexican Grill. Turf Pro Pest Control. Excuse me. Patrick Garner and the crew are the absolute best at what they do. Look, people are getting out and about. They're walking. They're enjoying the weather out here, and you don't want them making notes on your lawn as like, oh, we need to call the HOA on that lawn.
Yeah.
We want them going, that's a beautiful lawn. I wonder who takes care of their lawn. Well, Patrick Garner and Turf Pro Pest Control. Make sure you get all those unwanted pests and critters out of your lawn, making it look just as beautiful as a golf course. Turf Pro Pest Control. And then we had him in yesterday. I grilled him for 2 hours. It was a great time. But Steve Burdishaw of Steve's Bike Shop, he's been in business there since 1979 on 23rd Street, right across from Sam's. Steve has got all the old bikes. He's got all the new electric bikes. They can work on them, fix them for you. He's got all the accessories. Steve does a wonderful, wonderful job at Steve's Bike Shop. And he's the swim coach out there at Mosley High School. I mean, you ought to go out and support him just because he had to deal with me for years. I mean, that's a sentence nobody should have to suffer. So anyway, Steve's Bike Shop there on 23rd Street. Get out and see them today. When we come back, we're going to get into news from the college football world, and we're going to find out if the University of Georgia is training the next level of IndyCar athletes. We'll talk about that next.
Lock it in and rip the knob off. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida has turned up the power.
I'm getting an off change, God, Captain.
From Port St. Joe to Panama City to Fort Walton Beach, the biggest sports signal in the Panhandle.
If I push it any harder, the whole thing will blow.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Ready to play? Welcome to DuPlay, your premier indoor destination for family fitness and total fun. DuPlay is designed for fun, movement, and skill building for all ages. Kids can explore our active playgrounds, while athletes and teams can utilize our turf fields, indoor soccer, batting cages, full basketball, and volleyball courts. With open play, training space, and structured activities, it's all inclusive at the new DuPlay in Panama City. Take a look now at DuPlayOnline.com. That's DuPlayOnline.com.
The legendary Pepper's Mexican Grill and Cantina, home for the most popular drink specials in town and now on the beach. Enjoy 2-for-1 house margaritas and draft beer all day, every day. 10% off on Military Mondays, and Tuesdays kids eat free with an adult. Pepper's Mexican Grill and Cantina, now with 2 locations. Back Beach next to Home Depot and Highway 77.
When it comes to building smart and roofing right, TK Vandy's is the name you can trust. They're your go-to for general contracting, design build solutions, and top quality roofing. From concept to completion, they deliver excellence on time and on budget. Whether it's a custom build or a complex renovation, they've got you covered, literally. Call TK Vandy today and build something better together. TK Vandy, built with purpose, roofed with pride.
When he played football, helmets had not been invented yet. Players played both sides, and quarterbacks weren't afraid of needles. It's the Coach James Hale Show, live from the J. Michael Studio. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Go get it. And welcome back to the Coach James Hale Show on a fantastic Friday. James is bouncing around in the fishbowl. Oh, he's on the pole now. He's spinning around. How do you get a strobe
DJ's
like
terrible back there, man. Get out of here.
Jim Barrett, Kyle Vandergrift, Big Bad James joining us here. If you want to be a part of this disaster, if you will, of me leading this show, 215-6290. That's 215-6290. So I teased it going into the break.
Yeah,
Jim,
call in. I'll tell you why you're wrong.
there you go. Exactly. Jim and I were talking about this before we came on the air. And look, we've made all these jokes for years, and really isn't a laughing matter at this point. It's kind of gone beyond into somewhat worrisome about the silly season with college football and the arrest season, if you will. And Georgia seems to have an inordinate amount of players getting caught for speeding. And when I say speeding, I'm not talking about going 5 miles over the speed limit.
Yeah.
I'm talking about 50.
Yeah, we're talking reckless driving.
Reckless driving. And obviously we had the tragic incident a few years back with we did have a few fatalities in it. But there was a story that come out that an NFL player was arrested for going 135 miles an hour. And before you could even get to the joke, you see the name. It's Nolan Smith from
University of Georgia.
University of Georgia. And
plays for the Eagles now.
Look, and I'm curious to y'all's thoughts on this, but yes, it can happen to anybody. Yes, young people are going to do young people things, especially when you give them money and opportunity. And yes, all of us have probably gone way too fast ourselves at that age, but you do get that. Obviously, you have Henry Ruggs. You have things like that, and it can be tragic, but
yeah,
it seems an inordinate amount all tied to the University of Georgia.
Yeah,
doesn't it?
Yeah, we James and I talked about this the other day, and I said it then, I'm going to say it again now for those who weren't listening, those who weren't paying attention, whatever it might be. You know, if you got a team that's got 100 players, over 100, you're going to have every kind of behavior on your team. I mean, there's going to be good kids, there's going to be dumb kids, there's going to be ones that don't have any sense. But it seems like Georgia has an inordinate amount of guys who go like 120, 130.
Yeah.
It happens all the time. It just happened like a week ago. He got pulled over, not Nolan Smith. This kid actually still in Georgia, 100-some miles an hour with weed in the car or whatever. It's like,
and
guys,
a gun.
at what point are you going to learn?
And a gun?
And a gun with his marijuana. At what point are you going to learn? When are you going to get it?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just crazy.
Well, let's see if we've got an answer here on the phone lines. Let's go to the phones. Edward, how you doing this morning?
Hey, good morning, y'all. Happy Friday to each and every one of y'all.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Hey, what's up, buddy?
Hey, man, nothing much, man. I just wanted to say, hey, I'm sorry for the loss of NASCAR for, I just forgot his name.
Kyle Busch. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm so sorry.
No
No
worries.
disrespect. I drew a blank for a second. Yeah, Mr. Busch passed away, I believe, yesterday, correct?
That's correct.
41 years old, man.
Yeah,
Any
absolutely.
thoughts and opinions about NASCAR, about him, anything that sticks out to him and for y'all?
Yeah, I mean, we were kind of going through it in the last segment. For me, it was just he had this attitude of he embraced being the villain and loved it, and I thought he was absolutely what NASCAR needed.
Edward, do you watch WC or WWF or did you watch WCW growing up as a kid?
Yeah, back in the day with Ted Turner and all that.
Yeah, exactly.
Well.
You know the bad guy. You know when Hogan turned to the heel?
Yeah, NWO, yeah.
NWO and all that stuff. You remember that feeling? That's what Kyle Busch kind of gave you, you know, because the Busch family was, they're the Busch family and all that. And then he comes out and he's, you know, the bad guy.
Edward, he was the guy. He embraced it. He was the guy you were supposed to hate, and you knew you were supposed to hate, but you kind of liked
he's
that
only
about
there
him.
because of his brother and nepotism and all that.
He leaned into it.
Yeah.
It was a great racer, 2-time champion, obviously, but he was really one of my favorites because I really liked it more 15, 20 years ago, and he was one of the guys from that era. He was one of the last guys from that era that I really just loved, and it was tough.
Well, I heard about it in passing away. Him and I are roughly the same age, and in our 40s now, and it's a sad day for that. And you don't have to be the world's biggest NASCAR fan to understand that it's a loss.
Absolutely,
100%.
right.
All right, guys. With that being said, I'll let you go. I'm going to keep listening. Don't forget, I enjoy liking and subscribing to y'all's channel, guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Edward.
Thanks, Edward.
Always love talking with you, my
Happy
friend.
Friday, brother.
Later.
All right.
So back to Georgia. Okay.
Yeah, I just don't get it.
You know, it's an unproportional or a disproportional amount of law breaking and
I agree.
Well, but in this specific area.
Yeah.
Like, okay, again, everybody has arrests, everybody has this, but and it could be if you're Kirby Smart and you can lean on their young kids. They're going to make mistakes. I'm here to give them another chance, or I'm here to count, whatever like that. There's probably nothing he's ever done. He could go through and analyze everything he's ever said, ever done. There's nothing he's ever done to promote this. But at some point you have to go, there's so darn many. I got to figure out something else to stamp this out because there's no way it should be this many.
Yeah.
Tied to my universe and this specific issue.
You know what I'm doing? Now, this is outside of football.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm doing? If I own Waymo and I own those self-driving taxis, this is where I'm dumping my NIL money. I am giving every single scholarship player to the University of Georgia their own self-driving taxi.
I was going to say either that or as a condition of your NIL money, you get a governor on your engine.
Unless 4 of them all get to a 4-way stop and then they're stuck there for 8 hours.
See, that must be the problem. There's entirely too many stoplights and stop signs in Athens where they can pull up next to each other, and that's when you start revving it, right? You know, I mean, obviously, we're not trying to make light of the situations where people have passed or gotten in nasty wrecks and all like that, but at some point you almost have to laugh about it because it is comically over the top. How many?
I mean, this is just a bunch of smoke flowing out.
Yeah.
I mean, so there is definitely a tire fire somewhere here. I mean, what is it? Is it just you're going into the same neighborhood to pick up these kids where they're just already racing? Is it you're just not looking at them and going, kids, don't drive stupid today, please?
So we don't have this problem in Starkville because our NIL can only buy people like a Ford Focus, and those just don't get fast enough. We're okay.
Go to the Yugo dealership.
Yeah, the horse and buggy does not go that fast.
Yeah.
No British. I got the Yugo reference. Trust me.
I had a Yugo.
Did you?
Yeah, I did. It's a terrible car.
Yeah, very affordable, but for a reason.
Like crazy.
What you mean? Coming out of Yugoslavia, it wasn't top quality.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Car drives you.
Not so much.
Gosh. Oh, taking me back with the Yugo thing. Let's get into this though, because this is something I loved seeing because I actually think this is genius. Ed Orgeron, Coach O, is heading back to LSU.
He come back home. That's what he's doing.
That's right. That's what we said. He's going to teach Lane Kiffin and say, "Go Tigers."
Go Tigers.
But I actually think this is he's been named special assistant for recruiting and defense. Look, if you didn't like Coach O at the end, you didn't like him as a head coach. The one thing no one has ever said he couldn't do was recruit and coach defensive line. He's great at both of those. And that's what they're bringing him in to do. Obviously, he knows Lane Kiffin for a long time.
And I'm going to say one thing. All right, so Coach O, the biggest thing Lane Kiffin's going to have is keeping the talent in state.
Yeah.
Right? Getting that key 5-star, 4-star athlete in state. Coach O, him bringing him on board as special assistant to recruiting and defense is a chess move because, I know how he left because of the other athletic director and some of the other stuff and all that. which is not there anymore.
That's right. That's correct.
He was fired or moved on. But Coach O was very loved by every. Yeah. I know many LSU fans, all of them.
Yeah.
Wanted to figure out a way to somehow bring him back, and Lane Kiffin's playing chess.
That's it. They may not have wanted him as the head coach, but they want him that's back. Right. That's right. They want him as part of the program. Right. Jim, you're working on football staff. So much of what's critically important to putting together staff is your trust in your assistants.
Yeah.
Lane Kiffin and Coach O go back almost 30 years. They worked together at USC. He worked for Lane at Tennessee. Ironically, both have been head coach at Ole Miss. A lot of people forget Coach O was head coach at Ole Miss first. Lane was head coach at USC. Coach O was interim head coach at USC. They've known each other a very long time, and they trust each other. This is another person that Lane Kiffin can count on and rely on.
I'm not much of an LSU fan per se, but that was a very smart move on Lane's part. It really was.
Yeah.
Because let's just like you see, you got somebody that you can trust in your staff, which is not that he can't trust the other guys, but I mean, he can trust Coach O. And Coach O can coach. He's not a head coach necessarily.
Yeah.
But he can coach, and he knows football. He can definitely recruit.
The way I'll sum it up is Coach O is a guy who needs to be in college football.
Oh, yeah. No question.
College football is less without him in it.
I agree. So I'm thrilled for him. Now, I'm a little upset as an Alabama and a Mississippi State fan. I don't want LSU getting more good quality people, but as a college football fan, I'm thrilled to see Coach O back. And honestly, he belongs at LSU. Coach O is LSU.
Yeah, he is.
So, do you think he is going to be on the sideline at all?
I don't know. Or
is he up in the box?
I don't know all the rules that carry which position. That's right, and which positions can be on the sideline and all. Honestly, he's leaning so heavily into recruiting, I would say he's probably not going to be a sideline coach.
Or do you think he's one of those guys that, brings either the heavy recruits and stays with them in the family in the box or something?
He's a guy I can see being all over social media.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, come on down to Baton Rouge for the game, Yeah. I mean, I could just see that.
Yeah.
He's perfect for LSU. This is a win for LSU. It's a win for Kiffin. It's a win for college football.
We only want men here. If you want to be little boys, you can go to another school, but this is where the men come right here. You only come right here. This is where the men come. Go Tigers.
The only people it's a loss for are the other SEC teams. I can tell you that because none of them were happy to see this news. I can tell you. Well, let's talk about some more of our great sponsors here on the Coach James Hale Show. Dr. John Ward. He loves them Florida Gators, but listen. We live in paradise. We get to be outdoor in the sun all year round, and one of the detriments to that is the potential for skin cancer. 1 in 5 will develop it in their lifetime. Don't become a statistic. Make sure that you're getting screened often. And the fortunate thing for us, if you're listening to us right now, Dr. Ward has one of 8 convenient area locations available to you. I would go through the list, but I'll mess it up. He'll do that with us when he's here on Wednesday. But Dr. John Ward, dermatology specialist. And then Jason Kovaleski, I know he's been a little bit sick, so unfortunately not with us today. But Max Fit Sports Nutrition, you want to look better, you want to feel better. If you're an athlete wanting to get bigger, stronger, faster, get that edge, make sure you get out and see Max Fit Sports Nutrition. They have experts who can put you onto all the right products to help you out on your journey. You can try it before you buy it. 2 great convenient area locations, Pier Park North next to Dick's Sporting Goods and 23rd Street in the Del Coronado Village. Max Fit Sports Nutrition. We get back. FSU Update. Jim's going to tell us what's going on in Tallahassee.
This Memorial Day, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida honors our local heroes. A Panama City native, United States Air Force Senior Master Sergeant Sherry Lynn Olds served 20 years and died in the 1998 embassy bombing in Nairobi, Africa, while serving her country. Thank you for your service and great sacrifice. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Anna with ESPN Northwest Florida. Here is your weather forecast on this Friday morning. As we head into this afternoon and evening, some clouds and a high of 83 with a moderate breeze coming out of the south at 14 miles per hour. For tonight, a chance of thunderstorms and partly cloudy skies and a low near 76. Tomorrow, partly sunny and a possibility of thunderstorms and a high around 83. This weather forecast is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for keeping that dial at ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Hewitt Tire and Auto has been in business in Panama City forever. Locals taking care of locals. From the smallest to the largest vehicles, they do it all. But don't take my word for it. Listen to the experts.
Hewitt Tire and Auto, your certified AAA service center and hometown towing.
Visit them online at HewittTire.com.
On Airport Road in Panama City.
850-769-7323. Hewitt Tire and Auto Center and hometown towing.
This May, we honor the courage, sacrifice, and service of America's heroes. At Coin and Bullion Reserve's Fine Jewelry, we're proud to celebrate Military Appreciation Month with an additional 15% off any fine jewelry purchase for all active duty and veteran service men and women. Whether it's a service-inspired piece, a timeless gift, or something special to mark a milestone, thank you for protecting the freedoms we hold dear. Coin and Bullion Reserve's Fine Jewelry, proudly saluting those who serve.
This is where heroes are created, legends are born, and dynasties forged. The Sports Talk Monster, ESPN Northwest Florida. Now back to the Coach James Hale Show inside the J. Michaels studio.
Florida State, Florida State, Florida State. Woo! FSU Update brought to you by Newbies. Charlotte and John, they do a wonderful job.
That's right. You say Charlotte first.
No, that's right.
Then John.
That's right.
Just make sure everybody knows that.
That's right. Because Charlotte, she runs that.
Oh, yeah. El Patrona.
I love it. I love it. They do a great job with all the newbies, but also so good with the community and all that they do to give back. Look, you want to have a great time, you pick any one of the 4 newbies. If you want to have a really great time, find a way to hit all 4 in one night. That's a challenge, but it's a great challenge. Of course, the Mothership is going to have the best bands playing for great entertainment. Newbies 2 on the Curve is a fantastic place to go watch sporting events, shoot a little pool, have a good time. The Brew and Booze, great for reunions, get-togethers, things like that. And then the new Blue Building out there down in St. Andrews, like I said, you'll see Glenn Manley holding court there quite often, because he can stumble home from there. But any of the 4 newbies, make sure you get out there, have a great time today, and thank them for their sponsorship of the FSU Update. Jim, what do we got for the Seminoles today?
All right. We talked about last time how softball kind of stumbled and lost that first game to Stetson and kind of just really hurt their chances, and then they got beat by UCF. That was completely unexpected to me. I thought Florida State, when I saw who they were going to play, I was like, oh, that's Florida State's going to win that for sure. And they lose the first game to Stetson, 8-3. So that kind of really put them in a funk that they never really recovered from. All right, ACC baseball tournament is going on. Started on Tuesday, and all 16 teams in the ACC are all seeded. It's kind of like 3 different sections. 9 through 16 started Tuesday. Those are all the kind of the bottom feeders. And then there's the middle group, 5 through 8, and then the top 4.
That's right.
Played yesterday and then today. And Florida State is seeded number 3. So there were 2 games played yesterday. At 11 o'clock, there was Georgia Tech, number 1 in Virginia, played, and Georgia Tech won 16-10. It's not like a softball score. It's hard to believe in baseball. 16, but it was 16-10. Georgia Tech is seeded number 1 in ACC, so they obviously really got a good team.
Yeah.
And then later on in the afternoon, Boston College played Miami. Miami, you would expect, won 8-2. All right. Today, the games are moved up because I think they're expecting bad weather in Charlotte. Right. So at 11 a.m., you have North Carolina number 2 versus Virginia Tech. And then later in the afternoon, about 3 o'clock, Florida State versus Pitt. And Pitt is seeded number 14.
That's right.
Florida State number 3. So I think they're going to have a good shot at it. I don't know how I have to be honest, I don't know how they matched up against Miami. I know they played Miami well, but Georgia Tech, I don't know how they matched up against them.
Georgia Tech is really good. They're kind of the consensus number 2 team in the country. And a lot of the polls had North Carolina at 3. Now some have them as low as 5, but yeah, they're good.
So they've had a pretty good season. I've talked about this before. I think the thing that really hurt Florida State was losing their first baseman about halfway. It was everything got hurt and out for the season. But they're always going to be real competitive. It's going to be interesting to see how the regionals go, how that figures in, and then super regionals, and then of course you got the World Series. But that's kind of down the line. So we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, I think the last projection I saw, and I haven't seen an updated one today, I'll look at that during the break, had FSU projected as the number 10 seed, hosting a regional, but not necessarily in line to host a super regional unless whoever they're paired with, the top seed, goes out. One of the things I found interesting, Jim, with Pitt is Pitt being a 14 seed, like you said, they had to play Tuesday.
Right.
They had to play Wednesday just to get here. Ironically, this is the round where they split the games. Like you said, 2 games yesterday, 2 games today. If Florida State had been in the top half of the bracket and had this, Pitt would have had to play 3 straight days. That's using a lot of arms.
Yeah, it
so
is.
at least Pitt had 1 day off.
Right.
But even so, you got to expect they're not going to have as many arms available as FSU.
No.
And FSU certainly a better team through the years.
Yeah,
so.
that's for sure.
Yeah.
I want to give you an update of a Florida State player who plays for my beloved Cleveland Indians / Guardians. It's Parker Messick. He's a left-hand pitcher. He came up at the end of the year last year and did a really good job, but he's really setting it on fire this year. He's like 5-1, 6-1. Carried a no-hitter to the 9th inning about a month ago. I'll tell you where I was. I was at a Bozeman game, and I was watching the Guardians game on my phone. It's like,
by the way, I'm never calling them the Guardians. I just want to throw that out there.
Yeah, it's the Cleveland Indians.
They're Cleveland Indians.
Yeah, it's the Indians.
There you go.
And he's doing phenomenal. And I think he's pitching today against the Phillies. And then he's doing very well. And on the other side of it, we talked glowingly last year about this Florida State alumni, and that's Cal Raleigh. You know, the catcher for the Seattle Mariners.
Correct.
Hit 60-something home runs to set the world on fire. Got to the World Series, almost won the World Series. He's like in a complete funk. He's hitting like 150. Struck out like 60 times already. Yeah. And he's just like can't get it together. So
hey, stop swinging for the fences, man.
Yeah. So hopefully he'll get. You got to believe that he's going to figure it out here eventually. Yeah. But, man, he's in a super funk.
So he was like 0 for 32
or
something like that.
Yeah, it was 0 for 30-something, yeah.
And then, so he did baseball players are notoriously superstitious.
100%.
And he did the showered with his uniform on and got a hit. So he was like, okay, I broke it, and then unfortunately hasn't really moved forward from that. But I'm with you. He's too good a player not to figure this out.
Yeah.
Everybody goes through a funk, and the Mariners are notoriously slow starters anyway as a team. So hopefully they'll get it turned around because he's a fun player.
Yeah,
he really
he
is.
Yeah, he is.
Yep.
So that's all I got for the move.
Well,
unless you want to talk about NIL and how Florida State's not competing, that seems to be the next thing always.
Well, I do want to give a shout out to the North Bay Haven girls softball.
Oh my
team.
gosh!
Right
Yes.
Heartbreaking loss, but they did make it to the Final Four where they lost 3-1 against Cornerstone Charter Academy. Shout out to the girls.
Yeah.
For getting there.
We were fortunate. We were able to have Coach Bernard on Wednesday morning. When Glenn was in here with me and talked to him, and they just did an absolutely wonderful job. And I know we talk about this a lot, but it's a reality of the situation. Is Coach he wasn't asking for anything, which was nice, which is great, but it was a very expensive trip.
Oh yeah,
he was talking in the neighborhood of $25K.
$25K
to pull all of this off and do this, and it's just unbelievable. To think that, it costs something like that, of course.
Where'd they have to go to play?
Longwood, I think he said. It was near Orlando,
yeah.
which I guess everything kind of, but he said it was kind of near Sanford and all like that. I guess the team that they played was 30 minutes down the road, like that. But just with travel and meals and lodging and, the bus companies are not cheap. I know that from having to organize some of those too. It can get very expensive.
Just for one day is $5,000 for a bus.
Yeah. And what you don't want to do when we're talking about state championships, we're not talking about an early season go over scrimmage kind of thing. You don't skimp on making sure that the players are in absolutely peak physical readiness and condition to compete at their highest level. And because that's what you would expect if you were doing it. And so you make sure.
Well, it's one of those things, too. It's like, look, you need to leave the day before, get a hotel, get a good night rest. Get out, stretch in the morning, get prepared.
That's right.
Have a good breakfast, like all that good stuff. Meditate, whatever you got to do, and prepare them kids to be successful. I mean, I really do think that, like, if you're, because I know it puts a lot of strain on the booster clubs and the parents right? But I think if you get to the Final Four, like the district needs to step in and lighten the load a little bit because
I do believe they help some. I don't know to what extent. I wish I knew that better.
Yeah, that's a Glenn Manley question, which we use here.
Yeah.
But, and I don't
like
to
the transportation.
Right.
That would be the good
But I can
or
tell
Julie
you.
Hale, call and tell us how much.
I can tell you, having arranged things like this for swim and stuff like that, what you have to understand is if you're going to do some preseason scrimmage, ride the cheese wagon, leave 3 hours before, stack everybody on top. That's fine.
I do know the district does, like, with any of the inner, like, cheese wagons and stuff like that, they have no problem with that.
Yeah.
I think it's when you get to the commercial.
But when you start talking about state championships, you need them spread out. You need them eating right. You need them having room. You need them lodging differently. You're not stacking them.
Yeah.
Especially, 17, 18-year-olds like that. You're not just stacking them like that, like sardines. You need to make sure they're in top shape. So, anyway, check into that with North Bay Haven. But thank you for that shout-out because I absolutely loved watching them this year as well. So, nothing to be ashamed about in making it to the Final Four.
Final Four is great.
Well, we're going to head to a break. When we get back, we're going to be talking to Jeff Spiegel, Birmingham 3340, about Alabama and Auburn. I know Jim just can't wait for that.
I'm tingling.
You're listening to Coach James Hale Show, ESPN Northwest Florida.
While other radio stations are playing national contests with winners in Timbuktu, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida has real local winners.
Hi, this is Dave Meat from Panama City Beach.
Bona fide and certified local.
Man, that's awesome. That's fantastic. Oh, my goodness.
Keep listening to Win on the Gulf Coast.
Hell yeah. Let's do it. I just won $250 from 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Anna with ESPN Northwest Florida. Here is your weather forecast on this Friday morning. As we head into this afternoon and evening, some clouds and a high of 83 with a moderate breeze coming out of the south at 14 miles per hour. For tonight, a chance of thunderstorms and partly cloudy skies and a low near 76. Tomorrow, partly sunny and a possibility of thunderstorms and a high around 83. This weather forecast is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for keeping that dial at ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Men, 40% of us over 40 experience ED, but the blue pill isn't your only option. And ladies, are you living with bladder leaks? At Thrive Alternative Medicine, they're introducing the Umcella Chair, a non-invasive FDA-approved treatment for urinary incontinence and sexual wellness. It's simple. Sit in the chair, fully clothed for 28 minutes. The Umcella Chair uses high-frequency energy to stimulate your pelvic floor muscles. Patients report better sexual satisfaction and improved bladder control. Call Thrive Alternative Medicine, 850-655-7090.
WGSX New Haven, WVLQ Port St. Joe, ESPN Northwest Florida.
Are you feeling tired, weak, or maybe you feel old and cranky? If so, I have the answer. It's Max Fit Sports Nutrition with 2 locations, 23rd Street in the Coronado Plaza and in Pier Park North on Back Beach Road. Max Fit Sports Nutrition has nutritional products and professional dietary plans to get you moving in the right direction. So get off that couch and get to Max Fit Sports Nutrition now. Max Fit Sports Nutrition, where you can try it before you buy it.
He's a beacon of light to many and an inspiration to all.
Winning.
The Coach James Hale Show, live from the J. Michael Studio. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
There's just switch on like you do.
All right, Jim, stand up. Put your hand over your heart and face Nick Saban as the $1 Million Man, the pride of the South, plays Yay, Alabama.
Hey.
The greatest song in college football that, unfortunately, against Indiana, we did not hear a lot. But anyway, the Alabama update brought to you on the Coach James Hale Show by Steverson Air Conditioning. Look, don't wait till the dog days of June and July. It's already starting to get a little warm out there. Call the fine folks at Steverson Air Conditioning and have them come out, service your unit to make sure everything is working tip-top for when we get into those really, really sweltering days of summer. And what I love here is that we can go on a Friday and talk to the man himself. We can find out everything that's going on in the
myth and the
capstone.
legend.
That's right. Jeff Spiegel, Birmingham, ABC 3340. Jeff, how you doing this Friday morning?
Good morning, guys. How are y'all?
We're having a good time. The substitute teacher's in charge, and, you know,
The
Coach
inmates
Hale's
are
laid
not
up.
running the asylum.
Okay, I got to tell you this story. Really
Okay.
quick. A substitute teacher that I'll never forget. One year, my mom, my stepmother actually, who was just drop dead gorgeous, she was a sub.
Okay.
It was the worst day of my entire life. She was a substitute in my class. Because all the guys were going, holy cow, your mom's hot, and all that. And I go, guys, come on now.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, that would be
I'm
rough.
the teacher, man.
Some subs are better than others.
I love it. I love it. Well, Jeff, obviously we're going to talk some football here and you know, looking ahead to the fall, but we're right in the heart of it. You know, the Hoover Met this time of year is the epicenter for college baseball as far as I'm concerned. And SEC baseball tournament really right into the throes of things. We're into the, I guess, quarterfinals at this point. And we had Alabama and Florida yesterday. I'm not going to talk about my Mississippi State Bulldogs losing the Battle of the Bulldogs yesterday. We're going to pass on that. But Alabama, Florida, normally, you know, people come into the SEC tournament with a couple of different mindsets. It's, do we really want to go deep and waste those arms? Do we want momentum? But there was more to this matchup than that, because we're talking about two teams that are right in that bubble of who gets a top 8 seed and potentially hosts a super regional. So talk about not so much the game itself, but the lead up to it and the interest level. It looked like both teams were really raring to go.
Well, first of all, the SEC is an incredible league.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's the best baseball league in America. So, I mean, if you're tired of getting beat up by the Big Ten, well, now here's your chance.
That's right.
Celebrate these next few weeks, because the SEC is going to have a national champion again in college baseball. It's going to happen. I don't know who it's going to be. I mean, it could be Alabama, although Florida, you know, made Alabama look pretty bad yesterday.
Yeah.
But I think at the SEC, going to the single elimination was really the best thing they could have done.
Agreed. Yeah.
Because what that does is that, especially for the top 4 seeds, who are going to be, you know, if you're a top 4 seed, you're going to be like a top 8 national seed.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to worry about, you know, stressing your pitching staff too much the week before regionals, because the way it sets up is, you know, you're set up to, you win 3 games in 3 nights, you're good. And that's pretty much what you do on an SEC weekend. So I think it was a beautiful idea, you know, by Greg Sankey to go with that. And, you know, it's a lot of fun. I mean, the SEC tournament is the best thing we have going in this town.
Mm-hmm.
It is just, you know, man, don't go to the Chick-fil-A on 150 during SEC tournament week. You'll be in a long line. But it's great to see all these fans here. You know, when Auburn played LSU the other night at 8 o'clock, there were 14,000 people in the house. The LSU fans, it's been a horrible year for them.
Yes, it has.
Uncharacteristically horrible.
Absolutely.
But it was a terrific atmosphere.
Yeah, I covered it for years. When I was at Mississippi State, I would always go over, and I was working with Student Television Center and everything like that, so we covered it. And I just fell in love with the event. And it's like you said, those night games, I think it was in 98, maybe, dating myself here a little bit, but 98, I was covering it, and Alabama and Auburn actually played the night game one of the nights. And it's like, I mean, there were people sitting in their cars on the drive leading up. It was so packed. It was unbelievable, and just great baseball to be there all day for sure. The only reason I was worried about it, I would normally agree with everything you said about, you know, the not worrying. If you look at the projections, and of course that's all they are, but right now, Baseball America has Florida slotted as the 9 seed hosting a regional, and Alabama as the 7 hosting. And I guess my worry, if I'm Alabama, is if Florida makes a run through to the championship game or even wins, is there a possibility Alabama could drop out to maybe 9? Look, you're still hosting a regional, but you obviously would love the opportunity to host both.
Yeah, no, I think Alabama's done everything they need to do.
Okay.
I think it was pretty scary a few weeks ago when they were 10 and 11 in league play.
Right.
But they won 8 of their last 9 SEC regular season games, and you know their RPI is very high, and I don't think they have any worries. I think it's and then when you're hosting a regional, I mean that doesn't guarantee you a ticket.
Oh, that's
to
true.
the Super Regionals, but I mean that's when the fun begins, right? Because you always have these 4 beating a 1, in the first game out. So you got to look out for that. But no, I think Alabama's in good shape.
And to be fair, looking at the projections, of the top 9 seeds right now hosting regionals, 6 are from the SEC, which is unbelievable. So pretty cool.
It's awesome. And look, look, no shame for your Mississippi State Bulldogs.
No, they're going to host too, I think.
Georgia's been beating everybody
They
this
have.
year.
They have. It hits different when we lose to another Bulldog, and I got all the Georgia fans down here reminding me of it, but, it's what it is. But I got to stomach that one, but I think Mississippi State's going to host as well, so that should be good. And I've been there for regionals hosted in Starkville. There is not much like it.
So Stark Vegas is going to hold a regional with your pickup trucks with the stands in the back, and
well, it's a little more corporatized.
Lawn chairs and a cooler.
Jeff. Have you been over to a game in Starkville recently?
I haven't been to the new park. I know a lot of Mississippi State fans who will tell you that they've been to major league parks.
Yeah.
That the dude, as they call it, right?
Yeah.
Rivals any major league park they've been to.
Dudy Noble Field is unbelievable. I will say this: the Left Field Lounge obviously was famous. It's been a little corporatized. And look, the Left Field Lounge used to be a slip and fall lawyer's dream. Because I can tell you,
serve alcohol.
I can tell you, most of these contraptions were built by drunken fraternity people on the back of pickup trucks that don't run. And how in the world none of us fell off and died, I will never know. But there was some character in that. So while you can put 15,000, 16,000 people in at Dudy Noble Field, and it'll be rocking for a regional, fortunately, I guess it is a little bit safer than it used to be out there. But that's another story for another day.
You want to talk about dating yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I used to call baseball games, for Alabama on the radio, and I was privileged to be over there when Palmeiro, Clark, Brantley, Thigpen, and those guys were playing the old Left Field Lounge, and I'm calling the game, and I look out to left field. I can't even see the left fielder.
No,
there's
smoke.
so much barbecue smoke.
That's right.
Yeah.
I was covering.
So great.
I think the '97 regional. I had to cover the press conferences for us, and I can't remember, East Carolina or Washington or one of those teams was talking about it, and one of their guys went up to try and rob a home run, and did, and the coach was talking about it, and he says, yeah, he went over there, his glove comes back with the ball and some barbecue sauce. And I loved it.
Oh, it's awesome.
Hey, Jeff, it's Kyle here. Have you seen the, I call it the lesson of humility clip that's gone viral with the Vanderbilt pitcher?
Oh.
What's his name? Connor Fennell, where he's taunting the Kentucky batter.
That was great.
And then the next pitch, the batter Carson Hansen goes yard on him.
Oh yeah,
and just complete. Oh, it's all over TikTok and all the socials right now.
Yeah, I'll keep him quiet.
Oh
that
yeah,
didn't go yard. That went orbital.
Yeah,
oh, yeah, that went orbital.
Yeah, I think the phrase I used yesterday was that ball hadn't landed
Humbled.
yet. No, it's one of those.
There are some issues that I have with the social media, but that is not one I have with social media because you deserve to be virally embarrassed if something like that happened.
Yeah, and just like vocally taunting, disrespectfully.
Oh, and it was ugly.
And the dude was just quiet and set back, and then put the ball in the stratosphere.
Uh-huh.
You know,
Oh, my
now it's got like 100 million views.
Instant karma, as it were. Well, let's stay on a diamond, but a little smaller diamond here. We've got a super regional about to kick off in Tuscaloosa here. Alabama, the #1 overall national seed, going to be taking on LSU. That starts tonight at 6 p.m. I haven't heard anything about any changes to that, so I guess the weather's gone through. But tonight, 6 p.m., tomorrow at 2 p.m., and then if necessary, there'll be a game Sunday. It was interesting when I was looking at the softball here, Jeff. Even though they're conference opponents, I don't think Alabama and LSU have played this year. So it's kind of a unique opportunity going into Super Regional against a conference team, but it's a team you actually haven't seen on the diamond this year.
No, that is unusual. And look, LSU is this is a team who beat Auburn a few weeks ago, 25-0.
Yeah.
So they've got some bats, and but Alabama's got pitching. I mean, with Brisky and with Moten, the freshman, and their hitters are just on point. I just don't see anything slowing down the Alabama train this weekend. I think they win tonight. I think they win tomorrow, and then they go right into the Women's College World Series. And I think this team's going to win a national championship. It's been a while since Alabama's done it. You know, they've gone every year, but just haven't been able to get the big trophy, but I think this is the year they get it done.
I love it. And going into Oklahoma's backyard to do it, that would just be that much sweeter for sure. Well, Jeff, hang on with us here. I'm going to get a few sponsors in, and then we'll come back and talk to you a little more about Alabama and then a lot about Auburn here. So hang on through the break with us. Want to talk about some more of our great sponsors here on the Coach James Hale Show. Of course, want to thank Steverson Air Conditioning for their sponsorship of the Alabama Update. Don't forget about J. Michael's Restaurant, best seafood, coldest beer you're going to get anywhere down here on the coast.
Chris Fish Fridays.
J. Michael's, that's right. I'm going to be there for some Chris Fish today. David Adamson Fine Jewelry in Lynn Haven. You want to make the trek up to Lynn Haven. Go out there and get that special piece design. They can design it for you. They can fix your old jewelry, repair it, and
they got
also
a wish list for you too for Neanderthals like me. You just tell your daughter and your wife to go up there, pick out what they want, put it on the list, so when it comes around Valentine's Day, birthday, Christmas,
there you go.
You just go straight up. You say, "Hey, what'd they pick?"
Yeah, that's
nice
actually a
You're
great
in
idea.
and out.
That's a
It's
great
done.
idea.
Very easy.
Yeah,
It's called the wish
okay,
list.
that.
Yeah.
That sounds good. David Adamson Fine Jewelry, and then Kyle, talk to us again about TK Vandy Roofing and Contracting.
Yeah, TK Vandy Roofing and Contracting. We can help you out if you get that daunting letter in the mail, from the insurance company, and they're questioning the age of the roof. We'll be able to come out there, help you with the inspection, either help you extend the life of your roof or walk you through the process. Give us a call or find us on tkvandy.com or any of the socials.
All right, sounds great. When we come back, more with Jeff Spiegel, Birmingham 3340. We're going to talk a little more Tide and a whole lot of Tigers.
Tigers.
ESPN Northwest Florida, the Paul Feinbaum Show.
Chris, hold on. Over your left shoulder, right, if you're watching on TV, can you explain that wall over there?
You got all my goats here, Paul. You got Dabo Swinney to go to college football. You got LeBron James to go to basketball. And then you got Paul Feinbaum, the GOAT of the radio.
Paul Feinbaum, weeknights, 6 to 10 on ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Anna with ESPN Northwest Florida. Here is your weather forecast on this Friday morning. As we head into this afternoon and evening, some clouds and a high of 83 with a moderate breeze coming out of the south at 14 miles per hour. For tonight, a chance of thunderstorms and partly cloudy skies and a low near 76. Tomorrow, partly sunny and a possibility of thunderstorms and a high around 83. This weather forecast is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for keeping that dial at ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Looking to upgrade your truck? It's Blue Diamond Truck Accessories in Panama City. They sell, service, and install it all. Light kits, bed covers, bumpers, winches, lift kits, and any trailer hitch you can imagine. Blue Diamond Truck Accessories, just west of Frankfurt Avenue on 15th Street. Find Blue Diamond Truck Accessories on Facebook or call 850-914-0265. Blue Diamond Truck Accessories, 850-914-0265.
Get ready to discover new adventures this summer and show off your style in a brand new Kia from Bill Bird Kia. Check out the 2026 Kia K5. Its sophisticated design, smart safety features, and impressive fuel efficiency is perfect for your drive every day. Now offering 1.9% APR for up to 48 months on the purchase of a new 2026 Kia K5 during the Kia Summer Sticker Sales event. Stop by for a test drive and discover the new Kia at Bill Bird Kia. Bill Bird Kia, proud to be the home of that 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty. Stop by and see us at 2435 East 15th Street or anytime at BillBirdKiaPanamaCity.com. Movement that inspires.
Offer from Kia Finance America for well-qualified buyers on the purchase of a new 2026 Kia Sorento or Sportage with 2083 per 1,000 financed in 48 months. Cannot be combined with other offers. Quality is limited. See dealer for complete details. The 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty is a Bill Bird Kia warranty. Must take delivery from dealer stock through 6/126.
The Coach James Hale Show is live and local from the J. Michael Studio.
They got something that money couldn't buy.
I was noticing when you come down the stairs that you've got pretty legs.
All right, I'll tell you a story without a happy ending.
Y'all following this?
ESPN Northwest Florida.
War Eagle! Hey! Auburn Update comes to you every single day here on the Coach James Hale Show, and it is brought to you by Pat Perno and Beef O'Brady's in Lynn Haven. We just talked about Adamson Jewelry. Going up there and get a nice jewelry piece there.
While you're in Lynn Haven?
Yes. Stop by Beef O'Brady's. You got TVs watching sports all the time. You got those onion rings that are just fabulous, and the best staff of any restaurant I've ever been to down here. No joke, bar none. Beef O'Brady's in Lynn Haven. You know anything Pat touches is going to be great, and they do a wonderful, wonderful job. Get out there to Beef O'Brady's and enjoy a meal. And you can watch the Auburn Tigers tonight as they play in the SEC baseball tournament. Jeff joining us again, Jeff Spiegel, Birmingham ABC 3340. And Jeff, before we get into Auburn and their game tonight, I want to wrap up kind of one more thing, because it wouldn't be the Coach James Hale Show without talking about football every single day of the year. And, you know, as it relates to Alabama, obviously, got to the playoffs, which was good. Season didn't end exactly like it was supposed to be. Different kind of team, maybe, than a lot of Alabama fans have liked. Not a whole lot, as Tim Brando used to say, run the damn ball at Alabama. But kind of coming out of that season, looking at what went through in the spring and then the projections for the fall, what would you say is the number one thing that has to change for Alabama to take the next step this season under Coach DeBoer?
Well, what did Tim Brando used to say?
Run the damn ball.
The sentiment.
You got to run the football. Yeah. Look, I mean, I've been watching football like for a long time now, and it's changed. And there's no doubt that, you know, it's changed. Guys are bigger, guys are stronger, guys are faster, blah blah blah. You know, guys can throw it farther and all that. You see like incredible catches every year. You know, these receivers are making, but man, if you can't run the football, well, you're not going to win the national championship. And if you can't run the football as badly as Alabama did, you get embarrassed like you did on national TV in one of the most iconic venues in the history of college football. It's just it was just shameful. So yeah, I mean there's a lot that went into the spring and trying to figure out. Let's get 5 guys up there that can push some people down, knock them on their butts, and let's get some guys who aren't afraid to run the football. And that's what you got to see. I mean, you got to see that improvement this fall when it comes to Alabama.
You know, Jeff, it was one of the things I really enjoyed. As much as I didn't personally care for a Indiana-Miami national championship, I wanted an Alabama or someone I had a rooting interest in there for. The thing I appreciated about last year's season, if you think back to the last 10, 15 years, we've had all of the no-huddle nonsense. We've had the placards on the sideline with pictures of Elmo and Taylor Swift and whatever else they show, and all of this gimmicky stuff. What I loved about last year is when it came down to it, the two teams that made it to the national championship both did so by dominating line of scrimmage, both sides of play. I love that. It was good, hard-nosed football again that got to the top.
Yeah, and what was the old Nick Saban thing? We're gonna play them so hard and lean on them through the whole game, and we're gonna make them quit.
Yeah.
And Indiana made a lot of teams quit last year. I mean, including Alabama.
Yeah.
And so, no one has been happy about that. Shoot. I mean, 38-3 has almost become part of the vernacular in a negative sense, as 2nd and 26 was in a positive sense.
Yeah.
So the further we can put 38-3 in the rearview mirror, the better. And the only way to do that is to develop a strong running game and let's knock some people down and run the football.
Absolutely right. Well, let's pivot over to Auburn now, Jeff. Of course, you had talked about it the other night where Auburn had the night game and just piled them into the Hoover Met there and ended LSU's chance at repeating as national champions, which was unbelievably slim as it was. But Auburn gets the day off, which is kind of the unique function of being on the bottom half of the bracket. And now Auburn gets another night game, this time against number 3 seed Texas A&M. A&M ironically projected as an 8 seed hosting versus Auburn as a 6. What are you looking for in this game tonight? This should be another battle of heavyweights.
Yeah, it should be. Auburn went to Texas A&M a few weeks ago and won 2 out of 3 there, and scored a bunch of runs on them in the first game. Due to weather, they had to play a doubleheader on Saturday, I think it was, and I think Auburn won the first game somewhere in the neighborhood of, I want to say it was 18-4 or 14-8 or something like that. And that's the thing with Auburn, when they start scoring runs, I mean, they score runs in bunches because everybody 1 through 9 can hit the baseball, and 1 through 6, can hit them out of the park. So there's so many power hitters in that lineup, and they've got strong pitching as well. Yeah. So I think Alabama and Auburn are both built, to make a strong run in the postseason. If you pin me down and say, well, who's got the most horses and who's got the better chance to do it, I would have to say Auburn would.
Okay. A&M's kind of a unique story in that last year they were preseason number 1, had some injuries, and actually didn't end up making the regionals, which was shocking. They've been one of the quiet teams, if you will, this year in terms of they just keep plugging along, winning games. Like I said, they've worked themselves into where they could be a top 8 seed, but they haven't done it loudly like UCLA's run or Texas or what Georgia has done in the conference this year. But, yeah, they just keep finding a way just to continually produce just quality baseball there in College Station.
Yeah, and I think when you're flying under the radar, this is the time of year, you fly above the radar.
Yeah.
Because, the games being on the SEC network and ESPN and all of that, and it's everybody's watching baseball, right? And everybody wants to see, good baseball teams. And, if they could come out and, make a good showing against Auburn tonight and get a win and make a deep run in this tournament, it would be something that would, that A&M folks aren't used to. And it would be a great, platform, catapult for them, to go into the regionals.
I agree. Let's go over to the gridiron for Auburn as well. So now, obviously we've had the spring and we've had Coach Golish kind of, getting their first look at kind of what we've got going on there. What are your, because I haven't had the chance to talk to you since everything, what are your kind of impressions of the spring and kind of somewhat early start to the Golish era? Well,
I heard a few grumblings, because, Byron Brown didn't play that well in the 8A game. And, if there's anything you do not need to, judge on going into the fall, don't look at a spring game.
Yeah.
I've seen so many, and I could point out just a ton of different examples. We need a whole show to do this, of Alabama football players who were like NFL first-round draft picks based on their 8A performance, and then they don't do anything after that. So, Byron Brown didn't need to show us anything. It's kind of like in 2010, Cam Newton didn't need to show us anything in the spring game.
Yeah.
Everyone knew what Cam Newton could do. Everyone knows what Byron Brown can do.
Yeah.
They just don't know if he can do it at an SEC level.
Right.
So that's the thing, and he's going to get several major tests this year in terms of whether he can stack up to SEC competition, and I'm one of these people who's 100% confident that he will.
I'm looking at the schedule for next year, and, obviously a little controversial in that the Baylor game been moved to Atlanta. I understand why, but it's there. But then Southern Miss, Florida, Vandy, all at Jordan-Hare. And, look, Atlanta's not exactly across the country. But so you're kind of starting close to home or at home for the first 4 games. Of those 4, is it as simple as saying Baylor's the most critical because it's first, or is there another one that stands out to you as this is the kind of game that if Auburn can win can really catapult them to a good season?
I think it's Florida,
Okay.
and I don't care how good Florida's going to be,
Mm-hmm.
but it's the name on the helmet, it's the name on the jersey. It's a high quality football program with a lot of tradition. Yeah, they have a new coach, and they're in a transition year and all that. But if you can get a win over the Florida Gators at home, and by the way, I love the fact Auburn's playing Florida again. I mean, I just love that. But if they could do that, then I think that's going to make people feel incredibly great about the season. I think they win the Baylor game. But the Florida game, to me, is the big one. That's the first really big one on Alex Golish's agenda.
Yeah, absolutely right. Well, Jeff, as always, love talking with you here. Enjoy some SEC baseball. Enjoy some of them ice cream cones I know they have at the Hoover Met. And you don't have Coach Hale stealing them all from you this time, so that'll be good for you. But
you know what I want to do?
Okay.
But I need another adult to come with me because this would really be a bad look if I did it by myself.
Okay.
I want to be out there with those kids and fight for the foul ball when they come over in that direction. But I need another adult to help me knock the kids over.
Jeff, just let me know when we're going.
James is on the way.
Because that would not be a good look if I was just pummeling kids on national
You're
TV.
100% right, but God, that looks so much fun out there when they do. They're out there going for the ball. That's great. I love it,
Yeah,
Jeff.
it really does.
Jeff, as always, enjoyed it, man. We'll talk at you next week.
All right, y'all have a good one.
That's the great Jeff Spiegel, Birmingham ABC 3340. I'm always jealous of Jeff this time of year because he can be at Hoover every year, and I've got to get back up there.
Right in the middle of it.
I love the SEC baseball tournament. It is so much fun. Well, when we get back, we're going to talk some more headlines from the college football world, and who knows what else we're going to get into. You got to stick around to listen. You're listening to the Coach James Hale Show, ESPN, Northwest Florida.
Weather in the Panhandle never stops. Turn to 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with your latest forecast.
We're up to the minute weather reports all day long.
A chance of thunderstorms and moderate rain.
In-depth storm coverage.
Hurricane Helene.
And breaking weather as it happens.
We do have a tropical storm warning.
ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
overheard at the Hard Rock Bet Party.
Meta World Peace, what's up, man?
Nah, that's not my name anymore, thanks to Hard Rock Bet.
We're doing this again, are we?
Now I go by meta, over rebounds, under assists, method of first basket, free throw, piece.
Huh, so you really can same-game parlay practically anything now on Hard Rock Bet.
It's the only place I play these days.
Download the Hard Rock Bet app and start playing today. Hard Rock Bet. Roll with us.
Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about your gambling? Call or text 1-833-PLAY-WISE.
Men, 40% of us over 40 experience ED, but the blue pill isn't your only option. And ladies, are you living with bladder leaks? At Thrive Alternative Medicine, they're introducing the Umcella Chair, a non-invasive FDA-approved treatment for urinary incontinence and sexual wellness. It's simple. Sit in the chair, fully clothed, for 28 minutes. The Umcella Chair uses high-frequency energy to stimulate your pelvic floor muscles. Patients report better sexual satisfaction and improved bladder control. Call Thrive Alternative Medicine, 850-655-7090.
Los Rancheros has been doing it right for 20 years. Los Rancheros brings a top-shelf dining experience to you with the opening of their beautiful new building. Watch all college and pro games on Los Rancheros' 14 large-screen TVs, with great drink specials daily from 2 to 5, and during all the games. Los Rancheros, the place for live sports and great food on 23rd Street between Jenks and Harrison.
If aliens showed up tomorrow and said, "Take us to your leader," you'd bring them to the Coach James Hale Show.
Danger, Bill Robinson, danger.
Live from the J. Michael Studio on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back to the Coach James Hale Show on a Friday, a Memorial Day weekend Friday. Be careful this weekend. Going to be a lot of people out on the roads and probably in various states.
Think twice, save a life.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or look
right.
twice, save a life, right?
If somebody's got a Georgia plate,
Yeah, no driving in Athens, Georgia this weekend.
be careful.
Be careful out there. But we want to go to the phone lines here because I think we have some royalty on the line here. I think we actually have Coach O on the line with us. Coach O, are you there?
Bonjour, c'est moi.
What?
Now, I've heard...
Rectum, rectum, Orgeron, report of Angola prison. Anyway, my cousin is going back to LSU, and you know he will not wreck his Harley because he not have woman on it because he is too fat.
Are you Asian?
You're
Is this
an Asian Orgeron?
You're French?
Or is this Boris Badenoch?
Yeah, your French just got a little Russian.
Come on, man.
Yes, this is Boris Badenoch. Thank you for asking. Lake Erie goofball.
I wasn't sure who I was talking to there.
Oh.
Yeah, well, you know, this is Boris Badenoch, bad enough to whip your ass. Anyway, even though you outweigh me by about 100 pounds and are taller.
Oh, my gosh.
Hey, listen, Orgeron, I want to thank him because I had UCLA against him in 2021, and he made me and Snoop Dogg happy by going out there and losing and beginning his sprint toward retirement.
Yeah.
But he did beat that great hero of Morant, Jimbo Fisher, and got him settlement. Anyway, hey, this is the latest rumor. I don't know if you heard this.
Okay.
Tennessee is going to Hattiesburg.
Are you kidding?
That's what they say. No, I don't mean in football. I mean
I was going to say, that would be news.
Yeah. Nobody. Hattiesburg's a bad memory for me too. I didn't realize they had a good quarterback, and I bet on Alabama years ago, and they pushed. It was like 2010. Anyway, I don't want to talk about gambling about me. I sound like a fine bomb caller. Anyway, y'all have a great, safe Memorial Day.
Thank you, Mike.
Bye.
Thank you, Boris.
Yeah, Boris. Coach O.
That went left real quick.
I loved it. I loved
It
it.
was Coach O, then it was Asian, then it was Russian.
Oh, yeah. We're going through all of them.
Who are we talking to here? Ho Chi Minh?
That's what do they call it? Schizophrenia. Yeah, we're going through a lot of characters. But
Old Mike Split over there.
I love it.
Mike.
Absolutely funny. All right, let's talk about just a couple of things that have come up we didn't get to this week. One of them, so Ahmad Hardy, running back for Missouri, who all SEC had a phenomenal year, is actually projected to be the #1 running back in the 2027 draft. And about, I don't know, a week, 10 days ago, he was actually shot in the upper leg back home, and I think it was in Laurel, Mississippi. Not the greatest, advertisement for Laurel outside of what's the TV show on HGTV that they have. But shot in the leg. He's in rehab. There's no timetable yet, but it actually sounded somewhat positive on his, prospects.
What caliber bullet was it, did they say?
That's what I don't know. They have made an arrest in the case. Do not know if it was a targeted thing or just random shooting and all like that. But it does bring up the notion of, I know we've talked on the show before. I know Glenn and Coach Hale and myself have talked about it. Kind of this idea of, staying on campus, during the holidays, during the summer, being in that controlled environment. Although with Kirby, maybe it's not so controlled, but whatever. But it seems like so many of the times when these kids, a lot of them go home and they may not be in the greatest setting at home. And they may be around some bad influences that they had coming up through high school.
Well, they have the
like
option to stay there if they would like.
That's what I guess I'm asking is, do you think coaches need to be more kind of proactive and demanding, or is this just something that could happen anywhere, anytime?
Nah, you got to give these kids free will to go back home and hang
they
out
need
with the
they
fam.
need time away. I in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, and look, there's nothing to be said that this couldn't have happened in Columbia, Missouri as well. It just happened to happen back home in Laurel. I think he was at a rap concert or something like that.
Shocker.
But it does appear it wasn't, what they say, nothing good happens after 12 midnight or so. It actually appears it was earlier in the night, but more details will come out about that. But the good news is it does appear things are progressing as well as they can right now, and that there may be a very good path forward for a guy, because the last thing you want to see is someone with that kind of ability who, honestly, through every indication I've read about him, seems like a great kid and has been on a very good path. You want that person to be able to have that ability to go do this at the next level. And
we got a local kid playing up there with him. Cameron Keys.
That's right.
Yeah.
Up at Mizzou. Yep. Absolutely right. So hopefully he'll be able to come back and be able to go forward, just without any kind of limitations from this, because, unfortunately it's not the only time we've heard about it. He's fortunate in this respect that he got hit in the leg, and he not like the Auburn kid or the Florida kid was shot in the head. Florida State kid was shot as well.
Yeah, sure was.
The Auburn one was shot in the head.
Yeah, and that one was, wasn't that a drive-by or ran?
I think it was a fight or something that broke out, and he got shot in the head or something like that. And that was the Auburn one. He was like a special teams. He was a kick returner, I think. And it's a shame. But anyway, somewhat good news for Ahmad Hardy going back, in that he's in rehab for the leg injury, and it looks like he's going to be okay. The judge in the Brendan Sorsby gambling case. This is a crazy one. So Brendan Sorsby started his career, I guess, at Indiana.
Right.
Then he played at Cincinnati. He played pretty well. He was the top, I believe, quarterback in the transfer portal. Signed with Texas Tech, who is not afraid to spend some money in the portal, and looked like he was going to be the guy to try and get Texas Tech. They made the playoffs, try and get him to the next level. And then, of course, it came out a few weeks back that he's in a gambling probe, specifically as to betting on his team at Indiana. Now, he was not playing, per se, but that's, the cardinal no-no of it's bad enough
whether
you gamble.
whether you bet for them or against them.
Yeah. You don't bet in games you're involved in, even if you're on the bench. So, but what was interesting is, so in the case that's going to court, the judge in the case actually had to recuse themselves, so we didn't end up with another Charles Bediaco Alabama case where, king of the Alumni Association is the guy viewing it. But apparently because the judge had grown up in Lubbock and did undergrad at Texas Tech. So that judge has recused himself in the case. So I guess my question here is not so much what's going to happen in this specific case, but look, the way all sports, college included, they say there's separation all they want. They're all leaning into gambling. The DFS, everything like that, they're all leaning into the gambling. Can it be surprising with all of that a lot of these kids, especially the young ones who are getting money foisted upon them, are going to end up with gambling issues? It can't be a shock to any of us.
No, I don't.
Not at all.
I don't think it is at all. And this is just my 2 cents as the old timer here, the staff my lawn guy. They have to make this an example of somebody.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. And he's trying to get an injunction so he can still keep his eligibility. Now wait a minute, Sparky. It doesn't matter what college you go to, you hear the same spiel. Don't gamble. They give him the big orientation. And you went ahead and did it. And it wasn't just like one time.
That's right.
It was like hundreds of times he bet. It's like, so now you change schools and now they're going to let you play? No. This is just me. I hope he gets his life straightened out. But for me, you can't allow him to play. Get to get his eligibility back. That's just me.
So you would say no more college eligibility,
Nope.
He's done.
You knew the rules, you broke them.
Kyle?
That's just me.
I don't. So he's filing for an injunction because they haven't even viewed it, right? They just put out. I mean, was it even an indictment?
I think there was a penalty. That obviously the judicial process is going to take a while.
Yeah.
But as far as I think college football, I don't know if it was an indefinite suspension. I don't know if Texas Tech got ahead of it and was withholding him. That's the part that I'm a little unclear on. But
I would say because there's nothing wrong. I mean, we have 26 and 28-year-olds playing college football. Hey, look, bro, you're suspended until pending the outcome of the investigation. Yeah. Like, you lose your eligibility. If it comes back that, hey, you're fine, you get that year back.
Yeah.
So is the reason
but you are the reason that this is being when there's smoke,
you're
there's
not
fire.
You're not
so
a bystander in this situation.
Exactly.
Here's my take. Here's my cynical take on this. So is the reason that you're okay now is because you voluntarily entered a program to water down the response, the harshness of, the poor son, he's got a problem. Get him in a program. Okay, that's great, but you still broke the law. I mean, that's just me. Just me.
Have you seen the defense and what the defense is making an argument here?
No.
They are saying that the NCAA is weaponizing his disease against him because he's addicted to gambling.
So I should sue the Crown because I have a drinking problem?
I mean, if it
Pretty
works.
much.
Okay, that sounds about right.
Look, it's the Hollywood defense, right? It's like, I'm a victim of this, but I've voluntarily gone into rehab, and so everything's okay. Forget everything bad that I ever did. I'm in rehab. I'm okay. Yeah. Look, I am not – this is a tough one. This is a minefield. I'm not worried about personal repercussions on it, but it's tough because I don't know. There is an element of, obviously, addiction and everything in any of this stuff. Where I have more of a problem with it when it comes to gambling. I understand that can become a mentally addictive.
Well, it increases the dopamine.
I love to gamble. And yes, there are chemical things with dopamine and all like that. But at the end of the day, laying a bet is a choice.
Nobody put a gun to his head.
If I gave Brendan Sorsby $10 million not to gamble again, I think he could not gamble again. So now it's just a matter of incentive. It may be difficult not to gamble. It may be flat out miserable, but it is a choice. And so I have a hard time. I know there's some people who are going to disagree with me on that. I understand. And you know what? You may be 100% right. I'm not a doctor in this area, but I have a hard time with leaning in on its disease. I think it's a choice first and foremost, and that's why.
Could it be a disease of choice?
It could be,
because if you're looking at it from the problems between the ears, it's not a chemical that you're putting into your, but it's a reaction which changes the chemical, which gives you a dopamine spike.
Look, there's nobody that understands the thrill of gambling like I do. Absolutely love it, but and maybe I'm fortunate in that I have never felt compelled to make a bet.
But when it's a disease of choice, you still have a choice.
That's true. That's true.
It's just that the craving.
That's right.
To gamble is stronger.
I 100% agree. It is terribly uncomfortable not to do that if you're addicted. But I still think it's a choice.
Mm.
And there are motivations that can keep you from doing it. Again, could be wrong. Don't at me on this. Actually, I don't care if you do or not. That's fine. But anyway, we need to get to a break because we've been talking about this too long. So when we come back, we're going to talk more about this and everything else that's going on. You're listening to the Coach James Hale Show, ESPN Northwest Florida.
Are you sick of the old sports talk, the vanilla opinions, the polite debates, the hosts who are afraid to say what they really think? So are we. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida is bringing the house. It's the new Sports Blitz. Weekdays 11 to 1. We're not pulling punches. We're digging graves. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Anna with ESPN Northwest Florida. Here is your weather forecast on this Friday morning. As we head into this afternoon and evening, some clouds and a high of 83 with a moderate breeze coming out of the south at 14 miles per hour. For tonight, a chance of thunderstorms and partly cloudy skies and a low near 76. Tomorrow, partly sunny and a possibility of thunderstorms and a high around 83. This weather forecast is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for keeping that dial at ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
PCB Hobby, the beach's premier hobby store for sports cards, comics, coins, and trading card games. PCB Hobby carries the largest selection of boxes and packs from the latest releases of brands like Topps, Panini, Leaf, and more. Looking for a specific player or team? PCB Hobby has a wide assortment of raw and graded cards. They carry parallel rookie, game used, and autographed cards in both modern and vintage. Have a collection you want to sell? We buy, sell, and trade. PCB Hobby on Back Beach Road, just east of Florida Linen. Call 850-320-8388.
Are you looking for a place to take a leak? Do you have a truck, tractor, or other hydraulic equipment leaking or not performing as it should? At Reliable Hydraulic Solutions, we can get you back to work. Do you have a busted or leaking hose? We can typically replace them while you wait. Hydraulic cylinder or pump needing repair? In many cases, we can have it back to you the next day. Reliable Hydraulic Solutions, 6840 Highway 77 in Southport, just south of Tractor Supply. The best place in town to take a leak.
It's the Coach James Hale Show.
Bonafide and qualified.
Live and local from the J. Michael Studio.
Certified.
From the Sports Talk Monster. ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back to the Coach James Hale Show on a Friday. We're going to get right over to the phone lines here for this last segment of the show. We're going to talk to Big Nate. What's up, Nate?
Hey, guys. You've been talking about this gambling issue.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Let's get your perspective. I want to hear it.
Well, first and foremost, I was raised Southern Baptist. Okay.
So gambling's a no-no.
Yeah.
Gambling's a sin.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I was taught since I was knee-high to a grasshopper. Now, as an adult, there are certain activities that you can do. Like, I think poker is a skill game as opposed to, like, betting against the house on 21 or shooting craps or roulette. Those are games of chance. Poker's a skill game, all right? It's that guy versus me, whether or not I can get him to believe that I got the goods or not, okay? Now, is that right to lie? There's a gray area there, especially for adults and all the money. And it comes down to money. Money is corrupting everything. All right? There should be zero betting on college sports, period. There should not ever been allowed to bet on college sports, let alone the NFL or anything else. All right? Now, people are going to make their choices. Vegas is fun at times. I can't go back there anymore. It's just kind of like, why waste the money?
Yeah.
You know, it's not like Disneyland for adults anymore. It's corrupt. It's just seedy. It's nasty. I'd rather go spend time with my kids.
Yeah.
And I guess that's where you come down when you guys are talking about choices. All right? These young men are making choices because they've got more of that corrupt money in their pocket. And they're making bad choices because they don't have the people around them that they should to not make those choices. It's all about the teaching.
Yeah.
So if your coaching staff isn't teaching this from day one to not do it because it's going to cause nothing but problems for you, then that's not good.
Yeah.
All right? Now, people are going to make the choices because they're adults, right? But if they're ingrained from a young age that gambling's bad and you probably shouldn't do it, but the choice is yours, at least give them the tools to fight against all of this nonsense. I've not been a big gambler. I gamble on myself with my ability and the way I conduct myself. You want to take a chance on me? I will show you the proof in the pudding. But I'm not going to wait for somebody to tell me, oh, well, you may or may not win. No, I either win or I don't do it. It's just that simple.
I think
it's often chances anymore.
I think it's often been said that money will make you more of what you already are. You now have more opportunity. And I think when you're young in general, I think there's a lot of people who gamble in college. Look, I mean, most of it was with some unknown bookie, this, that, or the other. Maybe the fact that it's out in the open is safer. I don't know. But I can tell you it's because young people are bulletproof. They haven't experienced a ton of consequences yet in life. Whatever, they got a little money in their hands. These athletes have a lot of money in their hands, so now they're able to have access to do things that they may have been predetermined to want to do, but they never had the financial access to do so. You'll see that with alcoholics as well. You know, the more money you have, the more down that road you can go. I think for me, obviously, he's young. Obviously, you want him to be able to come back from this and learn a better way in life. But to me, at the end of the day, again, I just have a bit of an issue. I know why the attorneys are doing it, but leaning on the disease part of it when I think this is a conscious choice, more so than I think it's a disease, is what I have a little more problem with.
Well, there's the mental health is not discovered at all. No one has nailed it down. They're throwing drugs at it. They're throwing therapy at it. They're throwing. You know what? People have had messed up brains since like Napoleon or before. Look at the pharaohs of Egypt. All of those guys were like nuts, you know? But where the will of wanting to be a better person by your own admission, I applaud that.
Agree.
But why did you get there? How did you get there?
Yeah.
Because you made poor choices. So you have to pay the price in order to feel the effect of that poor choice, or you're not going to learn anything.
Cause and effect.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
you can't just slap them on the hand. Sometimes you got to take the rod to that posterior.
And let's look at it this way. Why is he going to rehab? Why is he going to rehab? Anybody?
Because the lawyers told him to, so
because he wants to play.
Career.
Exactly, because he got caught.
Yeah.
He got caught. That's why he's going to rehab.
If
There's
he didn't
no
get
other
caught,
reason why.
we wouldn't be talking about it because he'd still be gambling.
That's right. I think that's 100% right. It's the Hollywood example I gave earlier. They aren't going to rehab to get better. They're going to rehab because the studio says we got a movie coming out. We don't want to lose $100 million.
Right.
Why do you think Puka Nakua went to?
Oh, 100%. That's right.
You know, it's all image at this point.
Yep.
You got to save your image. You've got an image out there. This is going to, deflate that. Where we're going to try to fix it. It's like, okay, you can fix it all you want, but you're not Michael Orr.
Yeah.
You're not going to get the blindside treatment because you made the choice.
Yep, that's true.
Anyway, guys, have a great holiday weekend.
Thank you, Nate.
2 days and a half.
I was going to say, how many more you got?
This next week I got 2.5 days and I'm done.
Well, as always, but we do appreciate you delivering our kids safely to school.
You know what? It's as much as it's stressful sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Those kids are well worth it. There's a lot of good kids on those buses, and especially here at Bozeman, they're trying to build a culture.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want the best for those kids. And I'm an import. I didn't grow up in Florida, so kids are kids. No matter where they are, they all deserve a good example. So,
absolutely right.
Well, we appreciate everything you do, bro.
Thank you, Nate.
No, I appreciate you guys. Keep it up.
All right.
See you, bud.
I don't know what else we can really say on that. I think we've kind of covered it as well as we can. I'm sure I've engendered some disgust from some psychiatrists and psychologists in town about whether or not it is a disease or not. And look, again, I'm going to leave with this. I may be 100% wrong on this. I don't know. To me, I can only reflect my own personal experiences with this. Have I gambled more money than I probably should have? Sure. I've never put myself in a position where I couldn't pay a bill.
But you weren't a college athlete either.
Like that. That's 100%
betting
true.
on your own team.
And I didn't have millions of dollars thrown at me at 22 years old.
Right.
So, I feel for him. I do. I think I'm like what you said. I want there to be consequence, but I want him to have a path back. But if we just say...
everybody loves a comeback story.
Yeah, but if we just say, oh, he's sorry and he entered rehab so he can go on and play now, I just think that's the wrong message.
I think you can't do anything while it's
do.
open.
Yeah.
I think it has to be completely closed out, shut, and then the sentence or penalty is enforced, and then there's the path of recovery.
Yeah. Unbelievable. I can't believe we're here, but in a way I can believe we're here because... if you're watching, if you watch Texas Tech play this year, I guarantee you'll see 15 different commercials for gambling. You'll see it.
Just turn on any kind of, almost any television show right now. You're going to see gambling ads. You're going to see those market trading ads for Kalshi and all those things, which to me,
oh my God,
they don't call it gambling, but to me, it's gambling.
Get me started on
10
the poly
different
market
professional
stuff.
athletes being sponsored, pushing it.
Yeah, unbelievable. Well, that's something we can certainly get into for another time. That could be its own show. Jim, thank you so much for being in here.
Right.
Enjoyed it. Kyle, good to finally see you again here.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Busy.
I'm
being
here to
around
be of
town.
service.
Again, check out TK Vandy Roofing and Contracting.
Yep.
James, thank you, sir. Coach Hale will be off on Monday. No show. We're going to go national there, and he'll be back on Tuesday. Make sure you listen to Paul this afternoon, and make sure you catch out the Braves as they start a 3-game set with the Washington Nationals. You've been listening to the Coach James Hale Show.
Go Bravos.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Hey, this is Richard
and Connie from Fountain.
Real local winners.
And we just won a $25 gift card to Ferrucci's Restaurante in the Ferrucci